Good morning. Turn that down. Still a little bright. All right. Yeah, let me try that. Good morning. It's Westerfield. I'm here again. Day 3 of this continuous challenge that I'm applying to myself to become more consistent with posting. And as I said in my previous stream, breaking the third wall, I have different ambitions with regard to utilizing YouTube and these other platforms to get a message out and put a message forth. Today, I decided to go live in the morning. Previously, I was going live right when I got home from work, but today I decided to go live in the morning just to get my energy, set it off for the day, put my mind at ease that I am working through this challenge. And since this is the time that was available, I decided not to wait. So, good morning. Welcome. This is A Mind of Valor by Westerfield Tolbert. I am Westerfield Tolbert. Like I said, this is going to be real organic. Over time, you'll see the space will change, the layout will change, the technology will change, the color, the design, everything will improve. That is the plan, to just show you the progress over time. And the plan also is to go a little bit longer every day on the stream. So I think the first day I went for 4 minutes, and then the day 2 I went for 5, and then 6 will be for today. And then if I go longer, even better. But the goal is to just continuously make progress every single day. I was listening to Tribe of Mentors this morning on Audible as I was taking my son to school, and a couple of things just stood out to me, a couple of phrases that I just kind of wanted to talk through. And because they really characterize what I think that a mind of valor will be and what I hope it will mature into. And that is a process for people to improve their general judgment with engaging others in arguments and perspectives that are different from their own, and to improve their decision-making capacity and to accurately really perceive the decisions as they're going into, perceive the world around them. A lot of times we are limiting our opportunities because of the way we look at situations that we're engaging. And it's because of our decision not to look outside of our perspective or to look outside of our immediate wheelhouse. That's why the principles are important to me. And mental models are important to me, because what they do is, for me personally, is they give me a framework to look at the world through, in a way to engage the world. So mental models, for me, I always describe them as a filter that I'm looking through the world through, and a filter that I can take questions that I have and apply these mental models and these principles to these questions, so I can impact the outcome or impact the solutions that I'm looking for, or the discussions or the tables that I'm have the privilege of sitting at. So when I filtering through these different principles, I'm looking to pull mental models and first principles from different subjects, from different areas of understanding, from places that aren't necessarily my own area of expertise. But if I'm looking through first principles or looking through mental models, I can lean into the expertise of others who have done far more research and far more substantial digging into these different subject matters. So I have the opportunity then to lean in on their understanding, lean in on their wisdom, their experience, and help my own decision making. and help to influence those boards and those roundtables that I sit at, people who are asking tough questions about the world around us. If you look at my LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, pretty much across all my social media, in the description, I have the statement, ask better questions. And for what that means to me is asking tougher questions, asking more challenging questions, asking questions that question our own assumptions about the experiences that we're stepping into. Behind me, it says create bigger dreams. Mental models also allow you to do that. You know, we thinking about scale. The solutions or the tools that we need to scale won't always come from our direct area of competency. They will come from outside of our wheelhouse. They'll come from experts outside of our particular domain of understanding, or where we have invested the greatest amount of time in understanding. So for me, I've invested the greatest amount of my time in understanding in the systems that will allow us to ask better questions, and in the principles that will allow us to filter our decision making capacity through a more critical lens. And if you're asking these questions in the beginning while you're designing during the inception phase, it is way easier to make strategic pivots than if you've already invested a lot of time and energy, infrastructure, resources in a plan or in a process or in a program or in a design. I find that asking these tough questions up front is the absolute best way to meet people at their pain points, to get past our own biases, conscious or unconscious, our own filter of experiences, our own, sets of traumas, all these things that affect our decision making, all these things that add a veil to how we can critically interrogate the world around us and our own decision making faculty. So I look to principles, first principles. I look to systems design. I look to mentors, being well read outside of the areas of my critical expertise. And I think that it's really beneficial. To give you a little bit more about my knowledge base or where I come from, I have an associate of science in political science, and I also have a bachelor's of science in political science. Immediately out of college, I went into nonprofit work, fundraising, membership management, as well as sitting on different boards and committees locally. Worked in internal communications, strategic communications, crisis communications. My particular passion, or it's really something that I enjoy doing, is building out marketing and branding campaigns with small businesses and different promoters. So I love when a entrepreneur comes to me, or an artist comes to me, or an event promoter or producer comes to me and they say, hey, I've hit a wall with regard to creativity in a particular area. I'm like, really? Tell me more. And then I just really, my thinking cap comes on, the flame is lit. And just based on the information I've gathered in my experience, my next question will be something along the lines of, well, have you thought of this? Or have you thought of this? Or have you looked into this particular area and thought about bringing that tool over here? I think that that tool could very well be what you need over here, and apply it. So working with creative entrepreneurs, working with startup entrepreneurs, people who have a vision that they're just trying to take to the next level, or they have an idea that they believe has potential. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look across different domains. Let's see if it's been done before. Let's see what the chances are to take the experience that someone has over here and re-engineer it or reverse engineer it, dissect it, put some of those components over here. Or let's try to model some of these components or these systems in your design to see if you can have similar results. So I just look to work with more entrepreneurs and small businesses, founders, creative entrepreneurs, other podcasters, people in marketing and media who do these very things, creating activations that are engaging, events, guerrilla marketing. This whole genre, I happen to just think it's fun. So I look to do that as much as possible. As far as reading is concerned, I'm constantly researching, constantly looking for new information. So I'll tap into scholarly articles, journals, newspapers, books, different publications, circulations. I have over 100 books in my own personal library. I'm just looking across the room at the library right now. I just dive in. So all of that, everything I read, everything I research, everything I try to gain a firm understanding of is so that I can bring that information back into my decision-making process, bring these tools back into my decision-making process, both so I can recommend them out to other people, but also so that I can increase my decision-making faculties and my reasoning and impart that knowledge into my children, my family, my friends. So that's a little bit about my education. I currently work in logistics and management here in Louisville, Kentucky. And then also I'm a part owner of a substantial real estate portfolio in Liberia, West Africa, as well as a water company in Liberia, West Africa, and ice distribution company in Liberia, West Africa, based in Bentall City. We bag water and distribute it to other wholesalers. We also make blocks of ice that we also sell to individuals, households, churches, and other wholesalers. So those are two opportunities that I can get into later with regard to Liberia and West Africa and the history that is involved in Africa and the Liberian area, and that's the whole sub-Saharan area. I am part of the Tolbert family of Liberia, the largest Americo-Liberian family in Liberia. I am a descendant of the late William R. Tolbert Jr., William R. Tolbert III, former vice president and president of Liberia and president of Baptist World Alliance, the former Liberian peace ambassador. So I bring to the table a rich history, a lot of knowledge from books and just asking questions and humbling myself so that I might be in spaces so that I can learn. And all this comes together to bring us to this day 3 of this journey, and my hope and aspiration to continue to dive in and build more with you as a public, develop an audience, and we'll see where that goes. Have a good day.